Hey, welcome into Clippers Talk Live. Had my mic plugged into the wrong sound card instead of the microphone here. Appreciate being with you guys. Just got home from the gym. Do you even lift, bro? Legs? Yeah, I did it today. I got it in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is a Clippers Talk Live, and it's something maybe I'll be doing when I can throughout the season, but just giving you a game day preview, something you can listen to on your drive in as the Clippers are taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight from Intuit Dome, where they are currently 0-3 and winless to start the Intuit Dome era. Now, if you see the background, you may be upset by this, but I just thought we should confront it from the get-go. Of course, it's the Wolverine meme of him looking at a picture of Jean Grey, but instead of Jean Grey, it's SGA in a Clippers uniform. Alex Webb says, see you all at the Dome tonight. Let's get a dub. As people are already bringing up a lot of doomer stuff with like, we built a dynasty for the OKC Thunder. This guy, Michael Socratic _end on X is saying that. And maybe they did. We'll see what happens. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I think everybody already knew this. I don't know why he was adding me and Jamal Christopher and Dime Dropper on X. Like, hey, guys, did you know the Thunder are really good? They could win a championship this season. In fact, I got them being like a Spurs type of dynasty where they don't go for a three-peat, but they win, I don't know, 3 in the next 5-6 years. Great, my man. That's really helpful. If you want to just live in the pain, here's the picture. Wolverine holding a photo of SGA and longing for him. I did enjoy the Wolverine Deadpool movie, even though at times it was almost like too funny for its own good. Like they're just hitting you rapid fire with so many jokes after jokes. You don't even have time to settle in. But it was still enjoyable overall. Is this game going to be enjoyable tonight? We'll see. I'll give you some of the rankings here with the OKC Thunder and then talk about Terrence Mann and some numbers I had on him that I saw online, and also some numbers I found with Kevin Porter Jr. that may or may not be alarming to you. So Clippers 2-3. They lost their last two, a back-to-back at Intuit Dome, starting with a brutal loss to the Portland Trail Blazers, where they gave it away with missed free throws down the stretch. And then a brutal loss where they were up by 21 to the Phoenix Suns the very next night. Suns started 15 of 15 in that third quarter from three. It is one of the modern records of not missing a shot in NBA history. It's not the record, but it's insane, and it's something you probably won't see again from any team the rest of the season. But it happened against the Clippers. They got back into the game. Clippers still had their chances late in the fourth quarter. They didn't execute well enough on the offensive end. Turnovers, miscues, let's see, self-inflicted wounds would haunt them. And they would miss a free throw and have another bad inbounds pass, although Grayson Allen made a great defensive play, I got to say, taking away the pass from Nico Batum, looking for Norman Powell in the far side corner. So, welcome in. Just wanted to give you the update. This OKC Thunder team is 5-0. I had them coming into this season. Some people disagreed with me because of how tough the West is, but I had them winning 60 games before the year started. Now, that was before Isaiah Hartenstein went down, but still, I think it's possible. And I might have to get a new webcam because this thing keeps lagging. And the same thing happened to my last one. It's annoying. I don't think it's the internet. It's the webcam. I don't know. At least I can troubleshoot it that way or figure out what the variable is if I get another one and it's doing the same thing. But I wasn't having these problems a week ago, and now it's like it needs to clear the mechanism. I need a hard reset on the webcam. But OKC last night blew out the Portland Trail Blazers, the same Blazers who beat Clippers on Wednesday night. They won big in Portland, 137-114, and got their offense unlocked, 137 points. That'll do it, because you might be surprised to know heading into that game after their first 4 victories, where they are undefeated on the season so far, they were 24th offensively heading into that game last night in Portland. After scoring 137 points, after knocking down 19 threes, 19 of 49, that's 39% from distance. Clippers right now, by the way, as good as their defense has been at times so far this season, teams are shooting 40% from three against them. That's not good. But the OKC Thunder had an offensive explosion against a Portland Trailblazers team that we think is going to be bad, but they also just beat the Clippers somehow. They jumped from 24th in offensive rating all the way up to 11th in one game. 5 games into the season, that type of stuff can happen. You can have these massive swings, which is why I don't put too much in the advanced numbers or what we're looking at right now for trends and patterns and to see where everybody's at. I don't put nothing into it, though, either. Clippers are 5 games in as well. We'll talk about their numbers coming up. But Yawning Tears said, maybe this is a bad take, but if Chet doesn't torch us, including Zoo, and torching him for threes, I actually think we have a solid chance tonight. I like it. Alex Webb said, I would like Dunn to get the SGA assignment all night and hound him. Well, I don't know if he's going to be starting, so to do that, he'd probably have to be starting, but I'm sure he'll be on him at some point. Mark Jag said, Clippers winning. It's a trap game for OKC coming off a back-to-back. Back-to-back where their starters didn't have to play heavy minutes because they were blowing out Portland last night. And they're one of the youngest, if not the youngest teams in the league. Certainly youngest when it comes to matching the youth and inexperience, but a ton of talent, and they're beating the crap out of teams. In fact, they have won every game so far by at least 12 points. I believe that's a record to start a season. So Chet Holmgren only had to play 18 minutes. J-Dub, 26. SGA, 28, still had 30. Isaiah Joe, 27 minutes. Lou Dort, 25 minutes. Remember, they're still without Isaiah Hartenstein, but they did bring in Alex Caruso, who's coming off the bench and is one of those guys that's always a positive out there, does all the little things and plays great defense. This team, yes, is very likely to win a championship in the next couple of seasons, and that will be more pain and more Wolverine longing for SGA. Mark Jag said 2 words, feed do. Yeah, that's what I said on Clips and Dip last night. 3 out of the first possessions of every game, I think, to start things off for the Clippers should include getting Ivica Zubac touches. Whether or not he's taking the shot, get him the basketball at least. Mark Jag said Harden due to have a good shooting game eventually. He is. It could come tonight. Saw him working on corner threes at practice earlier, or in the shoot-around. Kaylee said, honestly, with this game, I just hope we can hang. A close loss like we keep having would feel like a moral victory. I guess I understand the thinking. Clippers would still be 2-4. I don't think they can afford moral victories, considering we don't know when Kawhi Leonard is going to be back, and they're trying to stay afloat. Try to hang around 500. SC said, not sure SGA would have developed like this if he didn't go to OKC. Don't worry, in a few seasons, Kawhi will be giving up his number 2 to SGA. Sure, SC, you can dream about that SGA is coming back to the Clippers. Is that what you're saying there? I think it's highly unlikely. I think the best chance for that to happen is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually wins a title before in OKC, and therefore he can go wherever he wants. He fulfilled his promise or his end of the bargain with them making that trade. Yawning Tears said, also a little scouting report. SGA is only shooting 26% from 3. I don't know if they should test him and go under screens, but it might be worth a try early in the game. I don't know. I know that is an accurate number. I've also done the research. It's actually 25.6%, so it's not totally accurate. It's very close. No, you had it right. I'm sorry. I thought you said 26.6 for a second, even when I read it. Yeah, you shoot 26% from 3. It's true. They also just found their offense last night, finally, and jumped from 24th in offensive rating to 11th after one game. Kaylee wants to know insight on the Zoo Chet matchup, which Kaylee says chat. We can chat about it. Look, last season against OKC, I want to see what Ivica Zubac's numbers were because obviously he has the size advantage, but Chet Holmgren is a great shot blocker. Even though he's slight of frame, he still is a good defender and can pose a lot of problems. Could Zoo punish him if he uses his strength, his power? In 2 games against OKC last season, Zoo was basically at his career or season averages, I should say, at 9.5 points, 7.5 boards, so slightly below his season averages, actually. That's not great. I'm trying to think how each and every game went against OKC last season. I know they had a huge win where Kawhi had the block on SGA going to the basket down the stretch, which was probably my favorite play of the season. That was big time. They also lost to them 129-107 back in February. Zoo had 13 and 12 in that game. And then I'm looking for the game where they got the win. I think it was in December against OKC. I mean, they did get a win against them. Ivica Zubac, I think maybe he wasn't playing actually in the game where they got a win. So they lost in December 134-115. Zoo had 6 and 3 in 17 minutes. So it wasn't like he was getting a ton of time, but there may have been a reason for that. They lost 134-115. They lost 129-107. So the game they won against them, Ivica Zubac actually wasn't available in that one. Let me bring up the box score of how that went because the play of the game was what Kawhi Leonard was able to do. And I want to say Paul George had 19 points in the fourth quarter of that win over OKC, where he was able to match a lot of what SGA was doing. And everybody was talking about, well, this is the matchup to watch. These guys were traded for one another. But I'm still looking for, the win was, early January. 128-117 was the final. Kawhi Leonard only had 16 points in the game. Let me see here I think that was the Paul George explosion. It was. He had 38 points, 15 of 24 shooting, 6 of 12 from 3. Kawhi had the block. They had Mason Plumlee in because Zoo was out with the calf injury. Big Plum actually had a great game. He had 14 points, went 5 of 5 from the floor, had 3 blocks, probably his best game of the season. And James Harden, still with the Clippers, 5 of 14, 16 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover. Can he replicate the 8 assists to 1 turnover? Probably need 11 assists to 1 or 2 turnovers and shoot him much more efficiently out there when he has to go up against Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, the just wealth of defenders that OKC has to throw at everybody right now. So Big Zoo didn't have a lot of success against Chet Holmgren, but they also were in a different place where they weren't featuring Ivica Zubac as much, and they better feature him early and often. There is no option anymore. This whole forget about Zoo mentality that the Clippers have had over the years, it's got to stop now. And that was concerning, especially against Portland to me. Against Phoenix, he went 9 of 10. You can say it's only 10 shots. It's still 3 more than he got against Portland. And he only had 5 of those shots in the first half, Big Zoo, where he was 4 or 5, I think. And they were still up by 18 against Phoenix. So it's understandable when they're still playing great and Ivica Zubac isn't being featured as much. And then they did start to go to him early in the third quarter against Phoenix. I want to say he scored 3 buckets there and was featured 3 of the first 4 or 5 possessions, including an and 1 dunk to start the third quarter. Of course, we know how the third quarter ended with 15 straight shots made by the Phoenix Suns. Mark Jag points out you might want to play Batum at the 5 today some. Possibly. Paolo said Lou Dort and Caruso will give Zoo problems to hell. Even J-Dub can cause some problems for Zoo with their insane team defense. Their defensive rating as I talked about how their offensive rating is now 11th and jumped up 13 spots after one game or 5 games into the season. Their defensive rating is number 1 by a lot. It's 95.7. For reference, the best defensive team last season was 108.4. The OKC Thunder, through 5 games, are at 95.7. And the next best team defensively is Golden State at 98.4. They've been phenomenal on that end. And I think it even dropped a little bit last night, as I'm sure in the fourth quarter, they might not have been given the same effort when you're up by 20 plus against the Portland Trail Blazers on the road and have a game the next night. Yeah, they gave up 29 points in the fourth quarter to Portland. They actually gave up a 44-point second quarter to Portland, but then found their footing and took off in that third quarter, and OKC won it 38-17, never looked back. So the Thunder are, I think, the favorites right now to come out of the West. They could beat Boston in a 7-game series. I think they match up well against them. This is the toughest test of the season so far for the Clippers, by far. They have the rest advantage. They're at home. They haven't won yet at home. The Thunder are also top 5 in pace, 5th. I want to say that also shot up after last night's game. The Clippers are 20th. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Top 2 teams in pace are the Chicago Bulls, Washington Wizards, Atlanta Hawks behind them, like teams that aren't very good. People that, look at pace as some indicator for wins. The Toronto Raptors are 1-5. They're 7th in pace. It's a mixed bag. The Utah Jazz are 10th in pace. They're 0-5. Like, it's just style of play. And if they do get out in transition, if the Clippers do turn it over, and they only had 14 against Phoenix, but 6 of them came in that fourth quarter, OKC will make them pay as well. You can't give this team any easy fast break points. G-Master Funk Flex says, salute at Adam as the chat. We need this game, and we will get it. We need Bones, KPJ as Miller time, and we're good. Well, they haven't played yet, Bones and Jordan Miller. And I actually think the way they get into this game might have to be if the Clippers are down big early. So if you see them in the game, it might actually be a bad sign that the Clippers are getting blitzed early on, which can happen against a team like this. Mark Jag said, guys like Mann, Derek Jones Jr. and Dunn have to hit their open shots. They do. They also have to take them. Talking about Terrence Mann here. For the most part, Chris Dunn and Derek Jones Jr. have been good in that area. Really good with taking and making their 3-point shots so far. Looking for their shots. They have to do that. We're going to hear from Coach Lune a little bit about Terrence Mann's role. This is interesting. This just came from practice earlier today. This is Terrence Mann talking about his role. Blue was talking about his role on Wednesday. So we can get right into it. I'm going to have to pull it up on my phone as well. This is juicy. This just came out from Law Murray of the NU today at Shoot-Around. It's Terrence Mann talking about his role on offense. And before that, Coach Lue, I think, talking about Terrence Mann here. So let's see what we got. Come on. Let me pull this bad boy up. Give me a chance here. All right, here we go. I'll share the screen and play it for you guys. Breaking news? We'll see.
Man, being aggressive in transition, attacking the basket when he's rebounding the basketball, attacking closeouts, and just be free. Like, it's no pressure on him to score the basketball at all.
So I know that T. Lue was basically like, look, he ain't putting any pressure on you to score. I'm going to ask you, do you feel like you can help this offense more than what you're currently in position to do right now?
What I'm in position to do? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, I feel like I can, but why do y'all want me to score so bad? That is not my job. My job is to play defense, shoot the open shot when I get out in transition, and offensive rebound. If I'm asked to do anything else, I will do it, as I have done in the past. But right now, that ain't my job. I'm not about to come down, isolate, call for the ball, and get to my midi just to make y'all happy. I'm not doing that. I'm doing what gets me on the court, and that's to play defense and do what I gotta do, what the guys in red asked me to do. All right? Everybody wants to, oh, why T-Mann ain't taking the next jump? Why didn't he not scoring? That is not my job. When I'm asked to do that, I will do it. As I have done in the past, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I'm asked to do that, I'll do it. Until then, I'm doing my job. That's what got me paid. That's why I'm here, to do my job. That's it.
When you see, so you know the turnover's been an issue.
Yeah.
That's not your issue. You've been always been good at taking care of the basketball, taking pressure off of the main guys. Is that something? That's not a scoring thing, but that's a offensive process thing.
For sure.
Is that something where you feel like you can help those guys out?
100%. That's something that we got to get used to doing, and that's my fault too. I'm used to, if I see the ball go through the net, I'm used to getting out in transition, getting in the lane. I'm getting down the floor, getting to the corners. I now have to realize, okay, they're pressuring James. Let me bring it up. Let me initiate the offense. Get James, Norm, DJ to their spots. Initiate offense so we can get better flowing offense, and that's on me. I keep forgetting to do that because I'm so naturally used to, when PG's here, Kawhi's out there, the ball goes through the net, I get to the corner, then we play from there. So now it's a different thing. We're 5 games in. I see what I need to do, and we're definitely putting that in there.
Whoa! That was as animated as I have ever heard Terrence Mann. That came from Law Murray, the NU. Interesting soundbite there. Seems like Terrence Mann has heard some of the noise from Clipper Nation saying he needs to score more. I brought it up myself. Like, there's no PG, there's no Kawhi. He needs to score more. He makes the point that that is not his job. His job is to play defense, get in transition, to take open shots. Not necessarily look for his shot. To get into his, I think, midi, he said, like y'all want me to. Coach Lou at the very beginning, Wednesday night, talked about there's no pressure on Terrence Mann to score more. I think that's a really interesting soundbite. Alex Webb said, spicy T-Mann. Yeah, that's as close as you're going to get to a clapback from Terrence Mann, who apparently has had enough of the noise regarding him needing to score more. That was earlier today at shoot-around with Law Murray of The Athletic. T-Mann did take responsibility for not bringing the ball up more because he's used to other guys doing it, with Paul George, with Kawhi Leonard, and then going to the corner, and he knows he can alleviate some of the burden with James Harden having to bring it up so often if he puts that on his plate. I like it. I think he's right. If he's not being asked to score, if he's not being asked to go outside of himself, then why would he? He made the point that when I was asked to, I did it, right? I was able to score more in the times he's been asked to. Some people are going to push back and say, how often was that? It obviously happened in the biggest moment for this franchise, 39 points to close out the Utah Jazz and get to the Western Conference Finals for the first time ever. Paolo said he's right about playing defense and hitting open shots, but this team does need Mann to also score and run the offense when Harden is out resting. How often has Mann been on the court when Harden has been out? Like, they've shared minutes a ton. So I'm not sure about that one. And if he's not being asked to score, if he's doing his job and being asked to score in transition, to beat his man down the floor, we saw that twice to start the game against Phoenix, to take open three-pointers. He did take a couple. He went 0 of 2 from 3. He also turned down one to find Nico Batum for a better look, which is understandable. He was cold. Nico comes up with those shots. And to bring the ball up some. to alleviate some of the burden on James Harden. He's aware of that. And to play defense, of course. Those are his responsibilities. But that was T-Mann definitely addressing something that I don't know if he heard through the media, through social media, or what, with everybody asking him to score more. And he wanted to nip it in the bud and get his point across that that's not what he's being asked to do right now. And to be fair, we heard from Coach Lou saying right before that, Law put the clips together Wednesday night, that there's no pressure on Terrence Mann to have to score more. SC said this Clippers team needs more scoring. That's why we want T-Mann to score more, because he can. I mean, that's great, but if the coaching staff doesn't think so, I don't think he's going to go outside the game plan and just try to take over like that. I don't think that's who Terrence Mann is. Sarah said, Adam, thank you for doing this show daily. You're a real Clippers sicko like the rest of us. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Basketball sicko, Clippers sicko. Terrence Mann went so far to say, that's why I got paid. To play defense, to score in transition, to take open shots. Not to get in his bag, not to force things. That's why he got paid. Luis says, zesty T-Mann. Max Perez said, I just want him to score in the flow of the offense more, which goes with his point on taking more shots, with goes with his point, which goes again. What do you... please type it out. Sunken City Clip said, help me help you. T-Mann has also been playing good defense as always this season so far. I'm going to bring up some numbers in a little bit here. G-Master Funkflex said, do we know for a fact KPJ's job is to score? I think we do. When I hear T-Mann talking like this, it's ridiculous. I'm starting to think about Ty Lue. Okay. Yawning Tears said, coaches might need to rethink what they're asking of him. He can be a two-way for sure. They need more offense with PG gone. He should be doing same attempts or more, not less. Let's see how many attempts he's getting up right now. And again, the point is, yes, take your shots in the flow of the offense. Do what you've always done. Should he get outside of himself if he's not getting the basketball and try to take it into his own hands? Playing outside of your comfort zone typically doesn't work out. Now, he has turned down some shots. We've seen this. So I think there's some frustration boiling over because through 5 games, his minutes are down to 23 minutes per game instead of 25 last season. And that's without some key guys on this team right now. You would expect his minutes to go up, but Amir Coffey has been taking up and soaking up a lot of minutes because he has been a more willing shooter and he has shot it better so far. I mean, Terrence Mann is at 39% from the floor, and he has yet to hit a three-pointer and hasn't taken nearly enough. How many opportunities has he had? How many has he turned down? He's definitely turned down a couple. He's hesitated on some, but he's averaging just 4 points per game so far, which is basically cut in half. His 8.8 points per game the last 2 seasons are down to 4.4 points per game. Of course, his field goal attempts are down by 1. He's playing about 2 less minutes. So in a season where I think it's reasonable to expect more production offensively from him, that doesn't necessarily mean to go outside of what he does best or go outside of the game plan or go outside of what coaches are asking of him. It just means take them when they're there, and he has shied away from a few of those. But I understand his point. Like, Terrence Mann is not being asked to get 15 points per game. That's not who he is. I don't think he has the handle to get into his bag as much as you need to be able to really be more of a focal point on offense. I think that's one of the things that has held him back. But look, to be fair, there was also a possession, I think game 1 or game 2, where he was asking for the basketball and James Harden didn't see him when he would have taken one from 3. I don't think Terrence Mann looks gassed. I don't think that's the case. I kind of want to listen to this one more time, guys. Are you good with that? Because I've just never heard Terrence Mann, I don't want to say be that aggressive with a reporter, but be that stern about something and look upset like that. It's Terrence Mann. He's always cool, calm, collected. And I understand. He's been taking a lot of grief. Clipper Nation has been all over him. I wasn't sure he was hearing the noise or had the antennas up because he's talked about social media. I think he called it shit or Twitter or X shit before. And it is. And it can be very toxic and unproductive. And people are anonymously saying some of the worst things you can imagine about you. I know a little bit about this. Maybe you checked Clippers Reddit. I don't know where exactly this is coming from, but I do think it's worth listening to one more time here. One more time. Oh, Cone said, I look gassed. I'm okay. I think. Just working. Just trying to do my part here. Working a lot. I'm going to share the screen again. We'll listen to it one more time together.
We know T-Mann being aggressive in transition, attacking the basket when he's rebounding the basketball, attacking closeouts, and just be free. Like, it's no pressure on him to score the basketball at all.
So I know that T. Lue was basically like, look, he ain't putting any pressure on you to score. I'm going to ask you, do you feel like you can help this offense more than what you're currently in position to do right now?
What I'm in position to do? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I feel like I can, but why do y'all want me to score so bad? That is not my job. My job is to play defense, shoot the open shot when I get out in transition, and offensive rebound. If I'm asked to do anything else, I will do it, as I have done in the past. But right now, that ain't my job. I'm not about to come down, isolate, call for the ball, and get to my midi just to make y'all happy. I'm not doing that. I'm doing what gets me on the court, and that's to play defense and do what I got to do, what the guys in red asked me to do, all right? Everybody wants to say, oh, why T-Man ain't taking the next jump? Why didn't he not scoring? That is not my job. When I'm asked to do that, I will do it. As I have done in the past, yes or no? Okay. So when I'm asked to do that, I'll do it. Until then, I'm doing my job. That's what got me paid. That's why I'm here, to do my job. That's it.
When you see, so you know the turnover's been an issue.
Yeah.
That's not your issue.
No.
You've been always been good at taking care of the basketball, taking pressure off of the main guys. Is that something? That's not a scoring thing, but that's a offensive process thing.
For sure.
Is that something where you feel like you can help those guys out?
100%. That's something that we got to get used to doing, and that's my fault too. I'm used to, if I see the ball go through the net, I'm used to getting out in transition, getting in the lane. I'm getting down the floor, getting to the corners. I now have to realize, okay, they're pressuring James. Let me bring it up. Let me initiate the offense. Get James, Norm, DJ to their spots. Initiate offense so we can get better flowing offense, and that's on me. I keep forgetting to do that because I'm so naturally used to, when PG's here, Kawhi's out there, the ball goes through the net, I get to the corner, then we play from there. So now it's a different thing. We're 5 games in. I see what I need to do, and we're definitely putting that in there. That's on me.
All right. So the sound didn't change. My perception of the point he was stressing didn't change, but it was still, man, Terrence Mann saying that is not my job. My job is to play defense, shoot the open shot, get in transition, and offensive rebound. When I'm asked to do that, score more, then I'll do it. Have I not done that in the past? Woo. I don't know if this is early season frustration from him because he hasn't knocked down a 3 yet. But that was as much as we have seen from Terrence Mann emotionally with the media before. And look, there is more pressure. You get paid More can be expected of you. But the reason he got paid is for doing the stuff that he's talking about that he's being asked to do, not go out there and score a bunch. He's 0 for 8 so far from 3. 8 3-pointers taken in 5 games doesn't look great. Got to be honest about that. His 3-point shooting is down to where it was the 2021 season, his second year, back when the Clippers had a very successful season. Kawhi, PG, obviously some superstars out there, more than just having James Harden, when he was just taking 1.4 3-pointers attempted. Now he's at 1.6 3-pointers attempted, and he's yet to hit one. I mean, it's down over a full 3 attempted from last season. Is that because the ball's not finding him as much? Is it because he's turning down shots? Is it because low confidence? I don't know. I believe T-Mann can turn this around, and I agree with what he's saying. If they're not asking him, and you heard from Coach Lue about it, they just want to play free, get downhill, get in transition, do what he does best. They're not asking him to go out there and get into his bag or get into his midi, as Terrence Mann just said there. They're asking him to be him, which I don't think he has been enough so far. And I'll bring up some numbers to you that, look, it's way too early in the season. Made this point with the OKC Thunder. Guys, offensively heading into that game last night in Portland, OKC was 24th. They come out of that game 11th offensively. That's how much things can swing. So I don't want to put everything into this. And I haven't double checked it, but I believe this is accurate. This comes from @213 Clipset, Zubac's season. The official Zubac's Homer account. I get it. I'm a huge Zubac's fan too. That's not shade. I'm with it. But they posted this. The Clippers starting lineup of James Harden, Norman Powell, Ivica Zubac, Derrick Jones Jr., and Terrence Mann have played 76 minutes so far, and they have a -17 net rating together, including a 122.9 defensive rating, which would be the worst defense in the league. The 5-man lineup of Harden, Powell, Zubac, Derrick Jones Jr., plus anyone not named Terrence Mann has a plus 9.6 net rating together in 36 minutes, including a 104 defensive rating, which would rank as the 3rd best in the league. On the whole, the Clippers have the 25th best defense in the league when Terrence Mann is on the court so far in 117 minutes. When he's off the court, 128 minutes, they have the 3rd best defense in the league. I'm not putting it all on Terrence Mann, and those things and those numbers will change drastically over the next week or two. I believe that. But I don't know if it's nothing either. I can't say it's nothing. It's closer to nothing than something, but it's not totally nothing. Terrence Mann can still play better defense. They can collectively play better defense together, that starting 5. And it's just a little bit strange that the numbers shift so much with him off the floor to them being a better defense. So I'm watching it. And like I said before the season started, when you bring in Chris Dunn, that guy could start. He is a great elite point of attack defender. He's better than Terrence Mann in that aspect. He is a defensive specialist. Can he do some of the other stuff Mann does with getting in transition? And Mann was top 3 in field goal percentage in the restricted area the last 2 seasons? No. Terrence Mann just shot 44% from 3 the last 50 games of the regular season last year, and then brought it into the playoffs and shot 45% from 3 in that series against Dallas, while holding Luka Doncic scoreless from 3. He didn't make one on Terrence Mann, and Luka was at 38% shooting overall against him. Like, That's a much bigger sample size than 5 games so far. And that's going in T-Man's favor. So this is something where, and G-Master Funkflex is just ranting and getting a timeout here. Like, oh, our head coach sucks. I never liked him. We don't need a choker on our roster. He's just going full doomer. That's getting a little bit annoying here. So that's a timeout. I want to try to stay positive, even though they're taking on the OKC Thunder tonight. Even though this is the best team in the West. And yeah, they could get on top of the Clippers quick. If they play like they did in the second half against Phoenix, if they play like they did for 4 quarters against Portland, he's got to be better. This team has to be better. Terrence Mann has to be better. People talk about Coach Lou's coaching errors, but like, I'd love to hear some specifics with those. As you guys just continue to pile on Coach Lou, who was wise enough to call a timeout in the third quarter against Phoenix when they took an 18-point lead at the half by the Clippers down to 17 points. And he already had seen enough that the Suns were starting to get it going. And they couldn't turn the water off. They tried everything. Like, to act like Coach Lou is not running plays out there is just wild to me, and it says more about your basketball IQ. Honestly. Follow at LA Clippers Film, Justin Wilson. I think that's the handle. I'll find it for you to make sure. Guys, they're not running nothing out there. Like, because you can't see it, and some of the plays they're getting into, that's a you problem. That's not a Coach Lou problem. I am sorry. Here's one I'll just pull up for you from Justin Wilson. Hopefully I can share this clip without the NBA coming after me here. Look at the movement here. Norman Powell topside. James Harden self-screens to get the basketball, basically, from Royce O'Neal. Ivica Zubac screens from Norman Powell. Keep watching Norman Powell here. He curls around it. Looks like he's going to stop in the mid-post. And now he doubles back while Terrence Mann now curls. Gets a wide open look. You want to say they're not running anything but ISO ball? There's film like this all day with the Clippers and the stuff Coach Lou is doing. It says way more about your basketball IQ if you want to go after Coach Lou like this. It does. I'm sorry. I love y'all, but I'm going to bring the facts here. Actual video of things that have been going on. If you're upset because Kevin Porter Jr. is still playing and you can't understand that, hey, it's 5 games, and if you go away from guys right off the bat and Jordan Miller and Busy Bones start taking minutes right away, well, you could lose the locker room and have bigger problems than just losing. That can lead and compound things to more losing. It's not that easy of a decision. You go Jordan Miller and he struggles and you got to go away from him and go back to the same veteran that you benched for him. That's problematic. This is chess. Not checkers, as the phrase goes. It is complicated as much as people want to oversimplify things with this team. I mean, Deuce Time saying the rotations are terrible. Coach Lou came up with a 5-man group that has been working so far with KPJ next to Chris Dunn, Amir Coffey, Nico Batum, and Ivica Zubac that has helped win them 2 games. I don't know how he figured that out. The Awning Tears wants to go back to Terrence Mann. If Mann gets benched for what he's doing, is he going to blame the coaches? Does he think they're going to take the blame? I don't think that's something Terrence Mann is going to do. If the coaches were asking something differently of him, to look for his shot more, to create for himself when I don't think he really has the handle to do that consistently, and he didn't do it, that's a situation where I could see him getting benched. Now, look, if his shooting doesn't come around and the Clippers are 2-6 and they got to go to Chris Dunn, I get that. If he's still turning down shots, and even when he's taking them from the outside, he can't knock them down, hey, at some point, if the Clippers are losing, it's record dependent, you might have to make a change. That's simple. Another change that could be coming is with Kevin Porter Jr. I've been saying it for a couple of days. If the Clippers get down big early, do they try to shake things up? Does it give Coach Lue all the evidence that he needs to say, hey, guys, sorry, energy is off. Some of these lineups aren't working. Players aren't performing. We're not successful. And I got to bench somebody, and I'm taking KPJ up the floor. And Jordan Miller or Bones Highland or both are getting some run now. You get down big to the Thunder, I wouldn't be shocked if something like that happens soon. I don't think that's an overreaction. They just lost back-to-back games in a fashion, and I'm not putting it all on KPJ because that's just not fair at all, especially when I think he gave up one of the 15 straight shots that were made by Phoenix in the third quarter that got him back into a game they were down by 21 in. But Norm Powell goes out. He got hurt. KPJ minutes weren't great. He forced some shots. I think they are force-feeding him a little bit and trying to get him going. But he has made 1 3, and it was one he banked in. And there's times where he just takes some really ill-advised shots and looks like a guy whose timing is off from not playing a year of NBA basketball. And some of that is understandable. But do the Clippers have enough time to wait for him to figure it out and click in? And do they have enough time to figure out if he is a winning type of player with a high enough basketball IQ to begin with? Because he never really had to play in a situation in Houston where there was serious basketball going on. They rolled it out there and said, individuals, get into your bag, be hoopers, score that way. And KPJ can do that, but it doesn't lead to a lot of wins. It's not all on him. That team was extremely dysfunctional in Houston. Everything was wrong there. So it's a big variable. Like, how do you know who he can be as a player? Because of where he was and the role he was playing and how much leash he got to take bad shots. But then he also had good catch and shoot numbers, really good. He has a handle. He can create for others. It's been inconsistent so far. He's had some bad turnovers. He's had some good passes. Like, is this all just rust? Is this who he is as a player? We don't know. But what I do know is this. I posted this last night at Follow Out May on X. Kevin Porter Jr. has the highest usage rating of any player who has played at least 50 minutes this season. We're talking above Harden, above LaMelo, above Luka, above SGA, guys who have the ball in their hands all the time. And usage rating and the way it's calculated, there's a specific calculation for it, but it's a way to estimate. I'll read it for you. The percentage of a team's possessions a player uses while on the floor. Usage rate equals 100 times the sum of field goal attempts, a third of assists, turnovers, and 0.44 times free throws attempted, all divided by those possessions. So it's just a way to try to figure out how much or how high of a percentage somebody is taking up while he's out there on the floor of those possessions. And KPJ has the highest usage rating in the league when he's out there on the floor. I wonder if it's too much too soon. The other side of it is, are they trying to throw him into the fire and just get him up to speed and just get him as much experience and run and possessions and have the ball in his hand a bunch so they can hopefully unlock some of the player he was with some of those numbers he had in Houston? Can he get his timing back quickly if he just gets a ton of opportunities early on? Well, he has looked better the last 3 games than the first 2. There's no denying that. He started 4-4, had 10 points in the first 5 minutes in the first half against Phoenix, and he had a legitimately very good first half. Easily his best of the season so far. He helped them. He was getting buckets on his own and able to go out there and do it yourself, which they don't have a lot of guys that can DIY, as Carlo Jimenez would say. That's why they're giving him this opportunity. I agree, Joe Rosenfeld is a good point. With defenders like Dort and Caruso on him today, he over dribbles, they're going to rip him. So there's a big question. Is it all timing and rust, or is it just who he is as a player, and he's got a ton of bad habits that have nothing to do with taking a year off from basketball or high-level basketball in the NBA? And he didn't take a year off. We know why he didn't play last season. We know a suspension could still be coming. KPJ is 6'4", 6'5". That's why they're giving him this opportunity, Deuce, because size-wise, skill set-wise, if he can reel it in and scale it down a little bit and be a more efficient player, it makes a lot of sense. I just don't know, if you start 2-4, 2-5, 2-6, if they get blitzed and ambushed by OKC in the first quarter and they're down by 15, if you can stay with them, because you got to win games too. It's just not easy. And you all still try to go after Coach Lou's offense when you can't even tell me what plays they are running. You just think it's all ISO when I already showed you video that's not at all. That's okay. Everybody gets to live in their own reality, I guess. I think it's pretty easy to defend Coach Lou in this way. They do run a ton of sets and plays and crazy stuff out there. And that's why he gets voted every year the best in-game adjuster in the NBA. But hey, ignore people that are doing this for a living and might know a little bit more than you about the situation. I just explained it, Luis. I just explained it. KPJ has a very high ceiling and has a skill set they need, which is why he's getting a chance over other guys right now who have proven less in this league. Jordan Miller is an average 19 points per game. Even on a bad team, that can still be hard to do. He shot 37% from 3. That was above league average. He's done some things, catch and shoot threes, 48% one season. KPJ has done some things that transcend just, he was on a bad team. Deuce Time said KPJ is better than Bones. Neither is Amir. So not better than Bones? I think Bones should get their minutes. Hey, it all could be coming soon. I'm just giving you the rationale for why KPJ has gotten this opportunity. This is why I believe it's happened. And there is plenty of logic to it. If you want to ignore it, all good. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. I look forward to being back here at 6:30 with your pregame show. Clippers taking on the OKC Thunder from Intuit Dome, looking for their first victory there. Got to start off fast and getting the ball to Ivica Zubac early and often. That will also, those buckets from Zoo, one thing they do is, because he's getting so deep into the post, even when he misses sometimes, they don't typically turn into long rebounds, which turn into transition opportunities for the opposition. Zoo can slow things down, which helps you get your defense set against a team that can run a little bit. Do I think Amir Coffey could start over Mann at some point? Yeah, he or Chris Dunn could if T-Mann is averaging 4 points per game 2 weeks from now. Maybe it won't even take that long. I don't think they're going to wait around forever. Lawrence Frank has talked about this. He needs to start fast this season, or he said he expected him to. No more slow starts for Terrence Mann, but it's happening again. It's 5 games. Maybe he turns things around. tonight. They could really use it. But I definitely understand why he was irked and has been, apparently, from everyone saying, why do you want me to score more when they're not asking me to score more? If they ask me to score more, then I'll score more. I'll look for my shot more, which he has done at times in the past. Again, that audio from La Murray of The Athletic with Terrence Mann saying, that's not my job to score more. If you missed it, we played it twice earlier. My job is to play defense, shoot the open shot, get in transition, and offensive rebound. Has he done enough of the other things so far? No. And he might have admitted that had he been pressed. He said it's his fault that James Harden is not playing off ball more and is still bringing the ball up every time. He needs to get used to bringing it up and remembering that he can, because James Harden needs less on his plate and there's no Paul George, Kawhi Leonard bringing it up right now. So it's just habit. It's just new habits that have to be that have to set in, that have to be formed right now. New habits that have to be formed for this team. Good habits, not bad ones. We'll see. Huge, huge game. If the Clippers could win this, would I say something was born out of this night? I don't know. But it's another big opportunity. Clippers, OKC, tonight, Intuit Dome. MKXLNT said, see you tonight, AA. We got this. Like the positivity. Appreciate you guys. I got to take a shower and get ready. I'm Adam Oz.